Hello, book lovers. This is the Blue-Eyed Black Devil, and I'm here to give the .5 installment of 3.5 installments of the book Marked for Life by Emily Krepp. Now, before I get started, let me just say, please excuse the noise. It's in the dark of the 8 a.m., so I'm kind of trying to be quiet, but I'm sitting in my den, and my air conditioner is set to auto, so it cycles off and on. And when it's on, it's really loud, so I may have to speak even louder. But anyway, this is not so much of a recap and review as it is just me giving my final thoughts as best I can. They're kind of all over the place. With that being said, there were two things I learned in the book that I just happened to learn just to add to my plethora of knowledge, I suppose. One of them is the denomination of money. In Sweden, I learned that kroner is what they call their denomination of money. And like here in the States, we say dollar. Sweden, they say kroner. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know that I'll ever be able to use that unless I'm watching Jeopardy. And then the other thing I learned was muesli. I figured it was cereal, but I thought it was a hot cereal. And the reason I figured it was a cereal is because the main character, Yana, after a bad dream, wakes up and she eats a bowl of muesli before she goes to work. And so I was thinking it was along the line of oatmeal and cream of wheat, but this is actually a cold cereal, so I was halfway right in that it was a cereal. cereal. Cereal, breakfast cereal, or anytime cereal. Okay, here the air conditioner just cycled on, so please bear with me. I hope you can hear me. But I also learned some disturbing things while reading the book, stuff I had absolutely no idea about. Like these names, once these people have been smuggled into Sweden, and then they have been branded, but they're awful names, like Thanatos, Phanatos. That means God of Death. Kier, K-E-R, which is the name branded on Yana, but that means Goddess of Violent Death. So I wonder, why is her death, why does Yana's killings, why are they so much more horrific than a man's killing? And I say Yana because she's the only person so far we know, female, that's branded with that name. Why are women goddesses of violent death versus men who are gods of death? There has to be a reason for them putting the word violent in there. It's got to be a differentiating factor. What, I don't know. But then I learned, there's one other name I just cannot remember right now. But I know the last name in this book that was puzzling to me was at the very end of the book. Well, like in the last 2 or 3 chapters, we learned that there's a little girl named Erida, E-R-I-D as in day, A. And her name means Goddess of Hate. Now, overall, now I'm going to get into my thoughts as I best remember. Overall, I liked the book. I loved it. I have really enjoyed it. But with that being said, I see that this type book Even if I wanted, I was tempted to go into the second book, but I need a break from all of the debauchery. I need something to clear my head, so I'll go on to another book. And then I'll come back to the second book of this series. But right now, like I said, I just need a break, because a lot of this is just stuff I'm not... like the things that are typically scary to most people, I can see why they may be scary. But I'm not all that comfortable with all this killing. And the reason I think my biggest objection in this book is because I don't understand why children have to be trained to become assassins. Who in the world would intentionally inflict these types of atrocities on people? You would have to be one sick individual to do that. And so why you would, and especially it's done in the children's formative years. So they will have a life of hell. Even with therapy, the way I see it, they'll always be guarded. It won't be easy for them to maintain relationships, because you're always thinking someone is after you, and you got to be on your P's, Q's, and R's at all times, and that can't feel good. All right, let's talk about some of the people in the book. Now, we know that Yana is the DA, district attorney, and so was her father, the man who adopted her, Carl Berzelius, and his wife, Margarita, adopted Yana when she was 9 years old. Yana's memory was, I don't know if they did, when I say they, I mean the smugglers, if they did something to wipe her memory out, or was that a direct result of the concussion she suffered when she was dumped on the ground at age 7 in those containers? But, so was Yana her birth name, or did the Berzeliuses give her that name once she had been, adopted by them? We never knew. I do know that Hades, his name was Danilo, Denillo. Danilo. How do you say his last name? Is it Pena? Something along that line, but that is his real name. But we don't know anything about his parentage. We don't know if they were killed when they came over to Sweden, or if he grew up with them. I doubt he did, though. I know he didn't, because we learned later on in the book that Yana and Hades were thought to be, anyway, the last 2 children alive. But remember, guys, in that first installment, I said that there were 7 children in those containers. And then Yana would go on and she would play with Danilo and another little girl named Esther. And Yana didn't really care for Esther too much. I think she just tolerated her. Well, when they got to Sweden and they opened the containers up, Esther kept crying and crying and crying, and then nobody ever saw Esther anymore. However, I get a strong sense that she is not dead. Although it didn't just come right out and say in this book, Marked for Life, that she was dead or alive. I just believe that we will see Esther again. as far as that goes, though, I think we'll see all of these characters again, those that, who are living, like Gunnar and who was that lady he was dating? Is it Annalie? Annalie? I think that's what it is. And then I know we'll probably see detectives Mia Bodlander, I think is how you say her name, and Henry Levin. I think we'll see them again. We'll see Yana because she is the central character in all of them. I think we will see her father a little bit more. And let me see, who else do I think may be in the next ones? I think all of the characters who are still alive at the end of this book will be, to some degree, in the next book. What I do believe will happen is that they will start to, or she rather, Emily Klepp, will start to introduce us to other characters. But I think that the characters that were left standing in this book, the Henry and Mia, Yana and Yana's parents, I think they will be in the second book as well. This book almost left me with as many questions as they answered. You just don't know whatever happened to, how exactly did, is Hans Yulon dead? Because, at the beginning of the book, I thought he may have been Papa when we learned about them. I really thought he was Papa because, his wife talked about how he insulted and assaulted her, and not only her, but he did it to a lot of the girls at the asylum where he worked. So I just thought, when they got to the bottom of his death, I thought that we would learn that he had been he had been killed for something he did, but as it turns out, he pretty much was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or somebody else said that he had begun to ask too many questions, so they knew they had to get rid of him. That's what that was. But let's see, I think Yana's father, Carl Brazilius, is creepy as I don't know what. I believe, you guys, that he really does have some sort of ties to the underworld. To what degree, we don't know. I know that it's abnormal for folks to call your job asking how you doing. What would be the purpose for that for Carl? And it talked about how he considered having Yana's brand care taken off of her neck, but doctors, they told him it would just be too costly. Plus, Carl didn't want to be made to answer questions that he couldn't. He didn't know, or did he? I kind of got the feeling that he knew that she had been smuggled into the country. I kind of believe, at some point, like midway through the first installment, we learned that her dad wants her to come, well, her parents wants her to come to dinner. And toward the end of one of those, I think it was the second installment, we learned that they wanted her to come primarily because the father, Carl, wants to tell her something. And I could be wrong, but I believe he wants to tell her how she came to be his daughter. And speaking of Yana, when she and Danilo reconnected, they were talking about what happened to them after they separated or whatnot. And she told him that she had been adopted after the accident, which was when they were smuggling them in from Chile to Sweden. They got to Sweden, they were emptying the containers. They threw them down on the ground so hard that Yana hit head first. And that's what she means when she talks about the accident. But she says that she was adopted after the accident. Danilo Pena says that he escaped. Now, I'm not exactly sure. If he did escape, he must have been captured, because he does end up at some point with Yana. Now, I think, and Yana tells him that, excuse me, guys, please, pardon the coughing. But Yana tells him that her father wanted a son to follow in his footsteps. Okay, I could be wrong, but most people who adopt, they have a say-so in the gender of the babe or the child. Like infants usually go, they always seem to be at a shortage for infants because everybody wants them if you're gonna adopt. But this man, Yana was 9 years old when she was adopted by the Brazilians. So couldn't he at age 9 or at her age 9 just say, well, no, I'm looking for a 9-year-old boy or whatever? Why? It's almost as if he's disappointed that Yana is a girl, but now you had more control over that than Yana did. But anyway, they took her in and raised her. And I think that's all I wanted to say about Yana and her parents. Now let's go on to Mama and Papa. I think these characters, whatever I'm saying is the stuff that stood out to me the most. Now, Lena was also known as Mama. You remember Yana, as a little girl, saw a lady wearing a necklace that said Mama. And so I wonder if Lena and, okay, well, wait, before I say that, let me say this. Papa is Gabriel. I do wonder if they got married to each other, not separate people. But this is what I was about to say. You remember Lena, well, Yana had asked her when she got into her house and she was confronting her about what went on at the workplace and this, that, and the other. And then Yana threatened her children. She was like, how many children do you have? And Lena told her 2. Why do I get the eerie feeling that Yana and Danilo are her children? I just feel like that's what it was. And when she asked Lena how many grandchildren she had, Lena never would answer that question. And I believe she didn't answer it because she didn't know. She didn't know whether, if Danilo and Yana really are her children, she doesn't know whether they have children or not. Or it could be that she knew that they didn't, and she just wanted to take it to the grave that she was in on the smuggling ring. I don't know. I just feel like maybe her children are Yana and Danilo. But as soon as I had that thought, guys, I also was like, well, they may not be hers because you know, she took him to the ditch, and I really believe, as did they, that she planned to kill them. But if that was the case, she would be killing orders. But once again, I say I don't understand why you would train innocent children to kill, period. But yeah, that's kind of the cloudy area as far as Lena and Gabrielle, were they married because they called them mama and papa. And let's go back to Hans Ulan. Now like I said, he did his dirty. It was awful and it is inexcusable. But I wonder now if he had once been a trained assassin. That just crossed my mind after I finished reading the book. I don't know if he was or not, but I do believe he will be picked up again in the series too, somewhere down the line. Let me see. Yeah, let's talk about Detective Henry Levin. He's the lead detective on the case. He seems to be thorough. And he's my favorite character. I believe he is the most level-headed amongst his colleagues, and that's a plus. They all seem to be level-headed, even Yana, but it's harder for Yana to play that unbothered role because she knows how she grew up and she saw that the little boy had the name on his neck. So she fought it, but she was able to keep her head on straight. It's not really much to say about Henrik. It's Henrik Levin. It's not really much to say except that he does a thorough job. I think that his home life, it's a little lackluster. His wife doesn't care to have sex with him, and I think, well, we know she's pregnant with the third child, but I believe that's why she kept getting pregnant, because she would refuse to do anything when she was pregnant. So that was one way she knew she had 9.5, possibly even 10 months, where she didn't have to worry about that. Mia and Yana are like semi-arch nemesis. The one thing they do have in common is the fact that neither one of them had friends growing up. Mia's two brothers, they were 5 and 6 years older than she was, but they always goaded her into fighting them. And then a lot of times, if she wasn't fighting them, she was fighting the neighborhood kids. But as far as school went, she wasn't considered a bully at all. She just didn't have friends because her peers felt like she was too snooty. Anna, on the other hand, purposely kept herself from a distance because she knew that she couldn't answer questions that other people may have. And that's just how it had to be. They didn't really talk much about whether or not she had sleepovers or, did things with other kids her age. It was just Yana and her parents. But anyway, Mia, she has like a street savvy or street smarts about her. And she's good for looking stuff up, I see. She was the one that told everybody what these names mean, these Greek mythology names. She just typed it in, and there it was. Gunnar and Annalie, what can you say about them? They are not supposed to be dating because they work together. but they are having on again, off again relationship that has resulted in the birth of one child at this point. But they seem to be able to do their jobs, and it wouldn't affect them either. And guys, I think that was about all. As much as I enjoyed this book, like I said, I do know that I just need a break. And I believe it was Big Brother. Shout out to you, Big Brother, when you said something to the effect that you don't understand why children have to be trained to kill. And I said something. Anyway, you said something again along the lines of, I believe this is done to get us to read the next book. And I agree. It is done to get us to read the next book. But whew, I don't know about anybody else, but I need a break. So I will go ahead and tell you guys now I am going to read no, this is a biography. I'll tell you that next time. But when I make a final decision. But yes, guys, I enjoyed this book. I will read the rest of it. That's just because I hate stopping in the middle of something I started. But hopefully you all enjoyed it. But let me ask you something, then I'll let you go. Who were your favorite characters? Who was your favorite character and why? And then you know who was your least favorite character and why. As for me, I think my favorite character is Henrik. Because, like I stated a few seconds ago, that I feel he is, he's very level-headed, he's capable and does keep his cool when a lot of stuff makes no sense to the rest of us. But then he will call you out on the carpet if need be, like he did Kirsten Hulan when he was telling her that he found out, you know, that she had been the one withdrawing those large sums of money and stuff. But yeah, I like him. I also, he's probably my favorite, but I believe I like Mia also because she is able to provide what he can, which is that certain, I don't know, street savvy that she seems to possess. My least favorite character is either Yana. Yana. I think she may, or Danilo. Off the top of my head, I say Yana, but the more I think of it, I believe my least favorite character is that doggone Danilo. Because Yana kills, but right now it looks like she has no choice. She never just wantonly killed anybody. She killed her friend Ninos on Papa's orders. Then she killed Thomas Rigberg, I believe is how you say his name. She killed him because she felt like he was, you know, gonna kill her if she didn't kill him. She did not kill Anders Poson, but she was there when he killed himself. She did not kill Lena, and she was not there when Lena died, but she knew Lena was gonna attempt to die anyway when she ripped that bed sheet off and gave it to her, told her to hang herself. I mean, she did not tell her that. Please forgive me. She did not tell her that. She told her to help herself. That's what she said. And by that, she implied, you know, if you commit suicide, oh well. But Danilo, I believe he kills simply now because he can. without rhyme or reason or forethought. He just does. Remember, this is the same person that set Yana up to be killed, but instead, Ambush was the one ended up dead. So, yeah, Danilo's the least favorite. And Henrik is my favorite. I would like to see a little more camaraderie, though, with Yana and anybody, because she does not seem very warm or outgoing at all, not even towards her parents. Okay, guys, this is it. Let me say this and then I'm gone. I am probably going to, at some point, it'll probably be a later date, going to combine all 3.5 of these installments in one. So, just in case, I'm going to leave them, you know, the first installment, second, third, so on and so forth. I'm still going to leave them as they are. But for those of you who are like me and you prefer a longer recap and review, I will get around to doing that. But if you find yourself not having the time to sit and hear a full review, you do have those other segments that you can go and look at in the meantime. Alright, guys, this is the Blue-Eyed Black Devil signing off. I hope you all enjoyed my recap and review as much as I enjoyed doing it. In the meantime, visitors, feel free to join. Subscribers, let's make them feel welcome. And to everyone, please like, share, comment respectfully, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified when I post a video. In the meantime, happy reading. Thank you, guys, and God bless.